The economic crisis makes people creative and try to find ways to survive. Hi, welcome to the Self-Up. This time, I'm talking about the story of how millions of Venezuelans are living off online games when the country is in an economic crisis due to very high inflation. Not only that, Venezuelans are also considered to be ruining the economy in the game. Venezuela was once a prosperous country. However, since 2010, the country's economy has deteriorated. Millions of Venezuelans tried to flee. Unfortunately, 90% who cannot escape live in poverty. As an illustration, the average minimum wage there is about $5 per month. This then encourages its people to be creative. They try to find ways to survive in difficult conditions. One of them is through an old online game called Old School RuneScape. Let's take a look at the story. Old School RuneScape is an old online game that was launched in 2013. However, it is actually a re-release of the 2007 version of RuneScape played by millions of people around the world. Maybe you've never heard of this game. It's normal, because the majority of players are old-school gamers. But something strange has happened in the past few years. Suddenly, many new players appeared in old-school RuneScape. Strangely enough, these new players had the same behavior. They play for hours and do the same activities over and over again, such as killing the green dragon over and over again and collecting the gold. In the online gaming world, this activity is commonly referred to as gold farming. So, this is an activity where a person plays a game with the aim of getting gold or coins or any item in the game and then exchanging it for real money in the real world. Of course, this activity is against the rules in many online games, but it happens all the time and old-school RuneScape is no exception. The emergence of many gold farming players was initially not too much of a problem, but over time, many players began to get annoyed with the actions of the golf farm players. For example, when you get a quest to kill a dragon, but you can't because these farm golfers have killed all the dragons. The players also began to ask these farm golfers about who they were. Most answered that they were Venezuelans. Another oddity appeared on March 7th of 2019. Suddenly, all these gold farming players disappeared. This shocked all old-school RuneScape players because it was like almost half of the active players there disappeared. A few days later, they found out why. It turns out that in Venezuela there was a total power outage. Not only that, the communication of citizens there was also cut off and occurred for several weeks. So, all the players from Venezuela couldn't play old-school RuneScape. The impact, it turns out, also makes the economy in the game chaotic. Well, this is what's interesting about the old-school RuneScape game. This game has its own economy. So, there was a trading floor where players could bid on items they wanted and the price was based on supply and demand. When these Venezuelan players disappeared, the game's economy went haywire. Since there was no more supply, the price skyrocketed as a result. You could say that there was inflation in old-school RuneScape. A few weeks later, the Venezuelan players came back online and the economy in this game gradually recovered. This incident made other old-school RuneScape players have two perspectives on Venezuelans. On the one hand, they sympathize with the conditions experienced by Venezuelans and understand their gold farming activities. But on the other hand, there are also players who are upset about the behavior of Venezuelan players. They felt that old-school RuneScape was better off without the Venezuelan players, as they were not playing but only exploiting the game. Not only that, they also feel that Venezuelan players do not have a positive impact on old-school RuneScape because they only make money without interacting with other players. This prompted the annoyed camp to focus on attacking every Venezuelan player they encountered. Maybe someone is curious, why do Venezuelans play old-school RuneScape games to survive? The main reason is the country's super high inflation. To give you an idea, a bottle of milk that you buy this morning doubles in price by the evening. This is what makes Venezuela's currency worthless. Citizens there then turn to another currency, the US dollar. So, with gold farming in this game, Venezuelans can earn $8 per day. In a month, they can earn a higher income than doctors there. Another reason, i.e. old-school RuneScape is an older game, so the computer specifications are not so sophisticated. This game can be played even on older computers. This is what makes Venezuelans able to play this game from the computers they have at home. Interestingly, this game is not only played by young people, because the money earned is promising enough to even be played by various age groups, ranging from parents to grandparents. Rumor has it that around 1.8 million Venezuelans play in this game to make money. There are several stories of how old-school RuneScape changed the lives of Venezuelans. Martinez is a former accountant. He quit his job when Venezuela experienced very high inflation. As an illustration, his salary could be worth less than $4 a month. This condition then made Martinez quit and started playing old-school RuneScape like his neighbors. This game then changed his life from $4 a month. At that time, Martinez managed to get $450 a month. Martinez then used the money to escape Venezuela and moved to Peru. He kept playing and managed to save up $1,000, which was used to get his mother and girlfriend out of Venezuela. Martinez can't stop yet. He still has to raise money to get his younger sister and nephew out of Venezuela. There is another story from Perez. He is a college student with a major in geological engineering. Aside from college, Perez spends 10 hours a day being a mercenary player in old-school RuneScape. When he first started out, his family's situation was very difficult. High inflation meant that his parents only earned the equivalent of 2 loaves of bread a month. Perez helped his parents' economy by looking for jobs online. Eventually, he found someone who was looking for mercenaries in old-school RuneScape. Now, Perez earns $200 to $300 a month. Although many Venezuelans play old-school RuneScape, this does not make the game company happy. From the start, they have prohibited the purchase of in-game items with real-world currency. They will block a player's account if there is any indication of cheating. This is the risk of every Venezuelan playing old-school RuneScape. They usually have multiple accounts, ranging from personal accounts where they play properly and farm accounts used to collect money. Eventually, they manage to accumulate enough money to escape their country. The economic crisis will make people creative to survive, even from things they never thought of before. Please comment in the comments column what lessons you learned when you learned this information. I hope you found today's discussion enlightening and motivating. Let me know in the comments which book or topic you want me to dive into next. Be sure to subscribe to Self Up and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Keep striving for self-improvement, and see you in the next video.